My sister Emma was the golden child for as long as I can remember, standing in the living room at age 7 watching my parents hand her a brand new laptop while I got a used backpack from the thrift store. They said she needs it for her future. She's going places, you just need to try harder. Like her, I tried harder, I got straight. As she got B's and C's, I worked 2 jobs through college. She partied on their dime. I paid my own rent. She lived at home, rent-free. And when our grandmother died and left her entire estate to the family, my parents sat us both down and said, "Emma, you're getting the house, the car, and the investment fund because you've always been responsible and we know you'll use it wisely." I stared at them, my mouth dry, my chest tight. "What about me?" I finally asked. My mother sighed, like I was being difficult. "Sweetie, you're doing fine on your own. Emma needs more support right now. She's going through a rough patch." Support? I wanted to scream. She's 28, with no job, no savings, and a credit card debt longer than her Instagram feed, but I stayed quiet. I always stayed quiet until the day I found the folder. It was 3 months after the will reading. I had gone to my parents' house to drop off some old photos, and Emma wasn't home, which was rare because she practically lived in that house, our grandmother's house now, like it was a resort. My mother was in the garden, my father at work, and I needed to use the bathroom upstairs. As I walked past Emma's old childhood room now, her office, I saw it, a drawer half open with a stack of papers visible. I should have kept walking. I should have minded my business, but something pulled me in. I stepped inside and pulled the drawer open wider. Inside were documents, dozens of them: scholarship letters, award certificates, dean's list, notifications, all with one thing in common: my name. Every single one had my name, but they were in Emma's drawer. I pulled one out, a full ride scholarship I had earned at 19 for academic excellence. The one my parents said I didn't get, the one they said I just missed the cutoff. So I took out loans instead, $50,000 in loans. My hands started shaking. I pulled out another document, a certificate for a state writing competition I had won at 16. I remembered submitting my essay. I remembered waiting for results. I never heard back. My parents told me I probably didn't win, that sometimes things just don't work out. Emma had it framed. It was sitting on her desk with her name written on the back in my mother's handwriting. I sat on the floor surrounded by papers, my entire academic history stolen, rewritten, erased. There were acceptance letters to universities I never knew I got into, grants I never received, awards I thought I lost, letters from mentors I thought forgot about me, all of it hidden, all of it given to her. I pulled out my phone and started taking pictures. Every single page, every signature, every date, stamped proof that my parents had intercepted my mail, stolen my achievements, and handed them to Emma so she could look like the golden child she never was. My chest felt like it was caving in, but my hands were steady. I took over 200 photos. Then I put everything back exactly as I found it, walked downstairs, smiled at my mother in the garden, and drove home in complete silence. The kind of silence where you realize your entire childhood was a lie. When I got home, I didn't cry, I didn't scream. I opened my laptop and I started building a case. I went through every photo, matching dates, cross-referencing emails I still had from teachers and mentors. I found old report cards in my own storage boxes proving my grades were higher. I contacted the scholarship foundation and requested copies of my original application. They sent it my name, my essay, my signature. I reached out to the writing competition, same thing, my entry, my win, my prize money that I never saw, which, according to their records, was sent to my parents' address and cashed. 4 days later, I pulled my credit report and found loans in my name from universities I actually attended, alongside mysterious payments to schools I never went to, payments my parents made using my scholarship money. They redirected. I had everything: financial fraud, identity theft, mail tampering, falsified records, and I had it all time-stamped, documented, and ready. Then I did something I never thought I would do. I called a lawyer. Her name was Miss Chen, and when I laid everything out on her desk, she sat back and whispered, "This is one of the worst cases of parental financial abuse I've seen. Do you want to pursue this?" I thought about Emma living in my grandmother's house, driving my grandmother's car, spending money that should have been split. I thought about my parents at every holiday dinner, praising her while I sat quietly in the corner, being told I just needed to work harder. Yes, I said, I want to pursue this. Miss Chen filed a civil lawsuit against my parents and Emma for fraud, theft, and emotional damages. She also reported the scholarship theft to the foundation and the competition organizers, both of which launched their own investigations. My parents didn't take it seriously. At first, my mother called me laughing, nervously, "Sweetie, what is this about? You're suing us, your own family, over some misunderstanding." I didn't laugh back. "It's not a misunderstanding." I said, "You stole my achievements, my money, my future, and gave it all to Emma so she could look successful. I have proof." The line went quiet. Then my father got on, his voice hard and cold. "You're being dramatic. We did what we thought was best. For this family, Emma needed help. You were always fine on your own." I was fine. "Because I had no choice," I said. "You made sure of that." The lawsuit moved forward, and my parents hired a lawyer, someone expensive, someone who clearly told them this was bad, because 2 weeks later, my mother showed up at my apartment, alone, without calling. First, I opened the door, and she was standing there, tears in her eyes, hands shaking. "Please," she whispered. "Please don't do this. We can fix this as a family. You don't need to humiliate us in court." I looked at her, and for the first time in my life, I didn't feel guilt. I felt clarity. "You humiliated me my entire life," I said quietly. "You told me I wasn't good enough while handing my accomplishments to Emma. You let me drown in debt while spending my scholarship money on her. You erased me." She stepped forward, trying to hug me. "We didn't mean to hurt you. We just wanted both of you to succeed." Stepped back. "If you wanted me to succeed, you wouldn't have stolen my success." She left, crying, and I closed the door. The court date came faster than I expected. We all sat in that room, my parents on one side with Emma, who looked smaller than I'd ever seen her, me on the other, with Miss Chen and a folder thick enough to stop a bullet. The judge reviewed the evidence, the photos, the records, the bank statements, the testimony from the scholarship foundation confirming fraud. Emma tried to claim she didn't know, but they found emails between her and my mother discussing how to explain away the awards if I ever asked. My parents tried to claim it was all a misunderstanding, that they were just trying to help both their daughters. The judge stopped them mid-sentence. "You intercepted legal documents, falsified records, and stole thousands of dollars in scholarship funds meant for one child and gave them to another. This is not a misunderstanding. This is criminal." My mother started crying. My father looked at the floor. Emma stared at me like I was a stranger. The judge ruled in my favor: full repayment of stolen funds plus damages. My parents were ordered to return the redirected scholarship money with interest. Emma was ordered to forfeit the awards and certificates that were fraudulently in her name, and the house, my grandmother's house, the one they gave Emma. Without hesitation, the judge reviewed the will and found that my grandmother had specified equal distribution unless one grandchild was proven to have greater need. Since Emma's need was built on stolen accomplishments, the house was ordered to be sold and split equally. I walked out of that courtroom, and my parents didn't follow me. Emma did. She caught up to me in the hallway, her face red and blotchy. "I didn't know," she said, her voice breaking. "I swear I didn't know about all of it." I turned to face her. "You knew enough. You knew those awards weren't yours. You knew you didn't earn that scholarship. You knew, and you stayed quiet because it was easier than admitting you weren't the golden child. You were just the one they propped up." She opened her mouth, then closed it because there was nothing left to say. I went home that night to my tiny apartment, the one I paid for with my own money, and I didn't feel victorious. I felt exhausted, but I also felt free. The stolen documents were returned to me officially. The Scholarship Foundation issued a public apology and cleared my record. Universities I didn't know I'd been accepted to reached out, offering retroactive admission. Some even offered grants. The writing competition reissued my prize with interest, and my name was added to their Hall of Fame wall where it should have been 12 years ago. My parents stopped calling. After the verdict, Emma moved out of the house before it sold, and last I heard, she's living with a friend, working part-time, finally learning what it's like to build something on your own. My mother sent one final text. It said, "We only wanted what was best for you both." I didn't respond because the truth is they wanted what was easiest, and easiest meant pretending Emma was perfect. Well, I stayed invisible. But I'm not invisible anymore. I have my name back, my achievements back, my future back. And when that house sold and I got my half of the inheritance, I didn't spend it on revenge. I spent it on something better. I went back to school, finished my master's, Degree started my own business and never looked back because the best. Revenge isn't destroying. The people who hurt you, it's proving they never had the power to stop you. So tell me, if your family stole your entire identity to prop up someone else, would you stay silent or would you walk into that court with 200 photos and make sure the truth finally came out? Because I chose the truth and the golden child finally lost her shine.